Hi everyone, it's me with the weekly video again. Not sweaty this week, no gym. I hurt my back the other day, conveniently while I was off work. So it's something that's got better over the past couple of days, but I'm not risking putting too much pressure on it again. So just relaxing when I'm not at work at the moment. I know it's a hard life. Not much big news, really. We enjoyed the Richard Donner special last week on the podcast. I hope that you managed to give it a listen and enjoyed the chat. We could have picked, 4 fantastic Donner movies, but I think we picked a good sample that allowed us to have some fun, to chat about some films that maybe don't get as much conversation online or on podcasts, and to still acknowledge that no matter the specific films being discussed, we were big fans of Richard Donner. So yeah, that was a good one, and there were some real treats there to revisit. If you can hear drops dripping away, it is a boiler that is due to be replaced tomorrow. Full big job. So that is yeah, that's a lot of money being spent, and general day-to-day costs are obviously still in line with what everyone else is going through in the world today. So please don't think that we do these videos and we do the podcast and we are free from all of the problems of the world. We're not, but we like to provide a slight distraction during your day, during your week, during whenever. I did get some posts today. I was waiting until today because I caved in and I got this bad boy. I have the Studio Canal release, I think, of Red Sonja, which I've still never watched. I'm a big fan of Conan the Barbarian, as many people are. I can't recall too much of Conan the Destroyer, so I'll rewatch it at some point. There's plenty to read there in the book, plenty of extra features. It is, I think, is it region locked? I believe so, because this was for the North American market. I believe. I may be slightly off there. It is something that I mulled over for quite a while, and then I caved in and bought it because, yeah, I just couldn't go without it because I'm greedy and I'm selfish, and it's Conan. I'd seen friends share stuff about it online, and I was getting really jealous. So that's a post this week. That's it, the main thing. Otherwise, not too much to really say on the old movie front. I'm continuing my journey through Toho Studios films and kaiju films. I most recently watched the first Gamera film, or Gamera, which I enjoyed. I watched the musical version of Mean Girls, which I really didn't enjoy. If you've listened to the podcast, you'll have heard me say that. Next Go Wins, I enjoyed, and I'd like to watch the documentary that was based on. Anything else? Oh yeah, Imaginary. Imaginary is kind of the new Blumhouse movie. Look, for every Megan, which I did enjoy and had a sense of fun to it when things were kicking off, for every Megan note, you have to accept that it's going to be a Night Swim and an Imaginary, and maybe one or two others in between the hits that actually hit the sweet spot. Imaginary is one that doesn't work. It is, ironically, stifled by a lack of imagination and just doesn't have the resources to do justice to a tale that we've seen done numerous times before. I'm not going to mention other titles, but there are other titles out there that use similar ideas and do them much better. So that's all. Imaginary is just, it's there, but it's dull. It's not good. It's a real waste. So I took the hit on that one. So you don't have to, but if you still do, don't blame me. That's it. I reckon I'll just do a very quick video this week because I went extra long last week. So yeah, there's nothing else to say really. I hope the dripping is gone by tomorrow. so next week's video should be clear. I'm also not recording in the cinema room because some of the shelving is moved aside for access to the radiator for when the boiler is changed, so there is that. Anything else that springs to mind? Oh, there is one more thing. So I've made time lately for some horrific documentaries, and I think a lot of people were talking about, I think it was just called My Wife the Abuser. It was here in the UK on Channel 5. And it's like really grim, brutal stuff. But I do kind of recommend it as something that should be watched for seeing what people can be put through while keeping up a front and going about their day-to-day lives. And then I just this weekend managed to make time for the Quiet on Set, the Dark Side of Kids TV 4-parter, and I think there's a 5th episode coming out soon. And that is, I mean, that is some grim viewing as well, and disturbing stuff. So I recommend those with caution. Obviously, there is content in there that if you have trauma from your past or would be triggered by certain things, you know, abuses, sexual abuse, just general mistreatment and misogyny, then be very careful when you, or if you decide to give those a watch. So that's it, ending on a bit of a downer. Sorry about that. I'll try and be cheerier next week. There may be more posts. I don't know if I've got anything else due. I was lucky that the Conan set arrived because I got a notification and this was being delivered by Every. So I just hope that it went to a very loving forever home if I didn't see it at all. But it got here, which is a big plus. You can never tell with Every. And I look forward to checking it out at some point. The films we are watching for the podcast this week, Craig picked The Debt Collector, not the Scott Adkins film, but the 1997, I'm going to say, film starring Billy Connolly and Ken Stott and Francesca Annis. If you haven't seen it and can find it and can understand all of the Scottish language throughout, then I recommend it. And Dave picked, now I'm going to say Steel and Lace, but it could be Lace and Steel, which is a sci-fi filtered rape revenge movie, which I am completely unfamiliar with. I believe Bruce Davison has a role in that one, and he's been in one or two good films that we've covered on the podcast before. So I look forward to checking that out. So those are the films we'll be watching for the podcast, if you can find them and if you want to play along at home. If not, just keep an eye out for the video next week and listen in whenever you get the chance. Bye.